Hello Year 4, it's Wednesday and it is time for English. So today we are going to be focusing on I-spaced and using some of those openers in your writing. We're doing that just to remind us of this really important skill that can help make our writing that little bit more exciting there as well, and a bit more interesting to read. It just adds a bit more flavour and excitement. It's a really good device to show that you're growing and of course progressing in Year 4. So we're going to work on a few today. And we're going to start though by editing a sentence so it uses capital letters and full stops correctly. We're going to recap the meanings of each letter in I-spaced before we practice them together. Then you go away and do your own I-spaced opener based work. So, first things first, here is a sentence. I need you to correct this using capital letters and full stops. Don't forget any commas if you can. Pause the video, make those amendments, come back to me shortly. Welcome back then Year 4, so hopefully you can tell me this is how our sentence should look like. Of course, slowly, being the first letter in that, is going to need a capital. Malcolm and London, well Malcolm's a name, London's the name of a place. When being the first letter in the next sentence needs to, that's what we're looking for. And of course, do not forget those full stops and commas. Let's do it again, slightly longer this time. You know the drill. Edit it to make sure those capital letters and full stops are in the correct place. Any commas, make sure they're in there too. Pause the video if you need to. See what you can do. Come back to me shortly. I'll come back Year 4. So, I will leave this up here. Hopefully you got that right. Don't forget Apple. It's the name of a company. It's the name of a product. It will need a capital A. But hopefully you've spotted all those that need to go in there. Right. As for today, let's have a little I-spaced quiz to begin with. Thoughtful emoji's back. He loves a good quiz. So let's start by figuring out what does the letter A stand for in I-spaced. Pause the video, come back to even answer. We'll go through it shortly. Okay, Year 4, so the A in I-spaced, hopefully you know stands for adverb openers. Simply put, these are words that describe an action and end in ly. Now to make an adverb opener, just use this at the start of a sentence followed by a comma. The example being, thoughtfully, his sister gave him some of her food. Okay? Simple as that. Really, really good way to add a little bit extra information, make it a little bit more exciting, just by putting an adverb at the beginning, just one word and a comma, just change that sentence a little bit more. So, next one, what does the letter P stand for? You know the drill by now. Pause the video, think, come back to me shortly. Okay, Year 4. P is preposition openers. So a preposition tells you where one noun is in relation to another. Think position, preposition. Position's in the word, so it can give you a little clue there as well. Now to make these, all you have to do is to describe the position of a noun, followed by the comma. So, past the gate, there was a cute, fluffy, soft dog. All I've done to start there is tell you where that dog is. It's past the gate. Nice and simple again, providing that extra bit of information and just making your sentences that little bit more interesting. Same again now. What does the letter ED stand for in I-spaced? Or letters, shall I say. Pause the video, come back to me shortly. Welcome back, Year 4. ED word openers. Well, it's in the name. These are words that end in ED, therefore are in the past tense. They tend to suggest the feelings of the thing, thus say therefore the noun, in the sentence. So all you need to do here is start with an ED word followed by a comma. Overjoyed, the lady had won the race. Again, it's just providing a little bit more information. Just one word will do the job. Put the comma after it, and there is your opener. Right, moving on. What does the letter C stand for in I-space? Pause it again, come back to me shortly. C is for conjunctions. Now we looked at this a little bit last term. Conjunctions are words that connect two parts of the sentence together. And again, they're helping to provide a little bit more information to what you're writing about. So all you have to do is put the extra information at the start of the sentence with the conjunction coming first. For instance, as a result of winning the race, the athlete received a gold medal. Now, this would work in the upper order too. You could easily write the athlete received the gold medal as a result of winning the race. That's the extra bit of information. That is your subordinate clause if you remember that from last term. But all we've done here is bring it to the front of the sentence and follow it with a comma. That's all you need to do with that. Right, next one. What does the letter I stand for in I space? Pause the video, come back to me shortly. I stands for those ing openers, year 4. So like ED, ing openers always start with a word that ends in ing. Now this can be part of a phrase or just the word on itself, but provides, once again, extra information to what you're writing about. So you could put jumping, the dog caught the frisbee. Jumping in the air, the dog caught the frisbee. Nice and simple. Both are adding extra information. Of course, do not forget your commas after either that word or phrase. Moving on. What does the S stand for? You know the drill. Pause the video. Come back to me shortly. Right, the S stands for simile openers. Now, similes are used to compare two things together. Now, to make this an opener, describe what you are writing about using a simile. Remember, it needs to come at the start. The things openers, they always need to come at the start of the sentence. That's the thing that keeps them all in common, so I say. So, you could say, as busy as a bee, my parents tried cooking dinner whilst cleaning the kitchen. You made a comparison between your parents, the busyness of them, and a bee, and there you go. You've described what they're doing right now. Nice and simple like that. Now today, we're going to focus on just a few of these I-spaced openers, and we're going to do a few together now as a class. So, you'll need to get your I-space poster ready. You'll find this on the home learning pages too, because here's a picture of a panda. I need you to come up with an adverb I-spaced opener for this. So that's the words that end in ly. Blank, the panda ate some bamboo. All you need to do, add an I-spaced opener, an adverb one right in there. If you want a little challenge, try and add some adjectives to make this more interesting. So pause the video and come back to me in a moment. Welcome back, year 4. Many different options. I went for cautiously, the soft, fluffy panda ate some juicy, tasty bamboo. The ly tells me it is an adverb, I-spaced opener. I've got the comma after it. And I've also turned it into a two-way sentence by including two sets of adjectives, my mind's going for a wander, before two nouns. Nice and simple like that. Let's try another one. Here's a man wearing blue. Isn't he a cool guy? So, once again, I want an I-spaced opener. This time, I want an ing I-spaced opener. Think about what the man's doing potentially. Blank, the man took part in Mr. Murphy's challenge. What word could go in there? Again, as an extension, try and add some adjectives in there. Pause the video, come back to me shortly. Nice and simple. You could put skipping, because, well, quite apparently the man is skipping. So skipping, the man took part in Mr. Murphy's wonderful, amazing, unique challenge. And again, I've added some adjectives, and this time I've turned it into a list sentence. But remember, ing word followed by a comma. That needs to come at the start of the sentence. Let's do one more. So this time, we want an I-spaced opener, but this time it's going to be a preposition I-spaced opener for this. Blank was some water. So think about where this water is, its position in relation to the bridge. That's what you need to be doing. Again, if you want to add some adjectives to make this more interesting, feel free, but the thing that I'm looking for right now is that preposition I-spaced opener. Remember, that sheet you have is there to help you. Pause the video, we'll come back and talk this one through. So, you can have a number of different options for this one. I went for under the bridge with some crisp, fresh, cool water, because the position of this water is underneath the bridge. I'm just saying where it is. Don't forget the comma afterwards. And of course, I've turned it into a list sentence too, using those adjectives. So it just shows you how you can make those sentences a little bit more interesting by including those openers and of course some adjectives as well. So it's all over to you now. So you'll need to open up the English activity for today's date, which is Wednesday, and you'll all be having a similar sheet, but you have different tasks on it. If you are warm, you're going to create sentences just using the adverb I-spaced openers. That's the words that end in ly. Hot, you're going to use the adverb I-spaced openers as well as the ing I space opener. So words that end in ing. Spicy level, take it one step further, you're going to use adverbs, ing and preposition I spaced openers. You do not need to use all three for one picture, but try and get a mixture in there. That's your task today, Year 4. Good luck. See you on Friday.